Would you take a look at this beautiful sunrise here this morning? This is what photography is all about. There's not much cloud, not my preferred location this morning, my bad. I slept in a bit, couldn't get to where I want to go. This morning I want to show you that using an ultra wide angle lens isn't about getting your whole scene in. It's about getting close to your subject that a normal lens cannot give you. Now I'm shooting video on my Z6II and I'm at 17mm because I'm using the Tokina 17 to 35mm lens. Now if I was using my other lens, which is the Nikon 24 to 85mm lens, this is all I would see. I'll zoom into 24. Can you see the difference? I've just lost so much because I'm so close to the tree. I'm only about 15 meters from the tree. This is what it looks like if I was taking photos. Can you see the difference? Now this morning I'm not using any filters. The light is just happening so quickly that I really want to just quickly rush out here, set up my camera and take some photos of this tree just at this golden hour of light. The sun is just about up. In about 5 minutes it's going to come up. You can see on the video that it's very bright just to the right of the mangrove tree here. So it's going to blow out very easily because I'm just using my Samsung S10. I'll grab the ZV-1 in a minute, but I just want to show you a couple of photos here. And this is the beauty of this time of the day. You can manipulate your images. Oh, I can have it very bright on the outside. I can have it like a vignette effect. I'm shooting at ISO 100, f11. My white balance is natural auto and I'm at 1/6 of a second. Let's take a photo. And I've set my camera up to a 2-second delay. Wow, look at that. All the foreground there is a little bit dark. If I had an ND grad on the camera here, I could brighten up the foreground because I could darken the sky. But I'm very happy with what I'm photographing now. Let's turn the camera into portrait orientation and you will see another benefit of shooting with an ultra wide angle lens with scenes like this. Now look at this, I'm even closer. I'm only about 6-7 meters away from the tree now. You can see now I've just got some water just in front of the mangrove tree here. I'm changing my camera settings now. I'm on 1/4 of a second, f11, still ISO 100. Let's take a shot. I want to make sure I don't blow my highlights here. Whoa, blowing the highlights. Even though my metering is saying that I'm underexposed, and because I'm using matrix metering, it's telling me that my shot is underexposed, but in reality, just to the left here of the mangrove. Look at all the bright area here. So I've got to underexpose. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a set of bracketed images, about 5 of them, and that will give me the dynamic range that I want. I know some people don't like HDR photography. If you're new to photography and you don't have all these filters, this is the easy way to get the whole dynamic range of your image by bracketing 3, 4 or 5 images to get the exposure right. Look at the clouds just there. It is unbelievable. Look at the color. I'll switch over to a video on my camera now. Look at this mangrove tree here. Can you see that it's sort of leaning to the right? In reality, it has got just a slight lean. But this is what you have to be mindful about when you're very close to your subject with an ultra wide lens, is that you're going to get distortion. The tree looks like it's leaning. But what this also does is it exemplifies these clouds. It forces the clouds to look like more streaming. It just pulls the clouds to the edge of the frame, giving you such an awesome image that shooting it on a normal zoom, it just won't look the same. You'd have to be so further back than this. Look how much the light has changed in less than 6 minutes that it took me to go to my car, grab my graduated ND filter and put it on my camera here. Can you see how the light is much more balanced? This is why a grad ND filter is so useful. But like I showed you before, you can use a bracketed set of images to get exactly the same thing. This position I've backed up a little bit now because the clouds are a bit higher. And the thing is, when you're photographing this sort of situations, don't stand in the same place. Just move around a little bit so you get the best of everything. I shot close, now I'm shooting a little bit further away. I'm at 17mm. Now if I come up to 24mm, you'll see what happens. I'm at 24mm now. And can you see that I've chopped out so much of the sky and I've lost so much of that foreground there. I've really cropped my image in. This is what it looks like in photo format, 6x4 between 17 and 24. This is 17mm. This is 24 mils. Look at the difference that 7 millimeters makes. Now you might think 24 mils is cropping in tight, but on a full frame camera, 24 mils equals around 18 mils on a crop censored camera. A lot of crop censored cameras come with the 18 to 55 kit lens. That's just a basic lens. If you go less than 16 mils on a crop censored camera, you're going to get ultra wide angle. For the full frame, if you go less than about 20 mils, you're going to get that ultra wide angle feel. And this is why I love the Tokina 17 to 35 mil. Now we've just about lost all color here, but before we lose the last bit of the color, I'm going to move to the right here so I get all these beautiful reflections of the water here. Now I'm in the water. I've had to wait a couple of minutes for the water to settle down. The sun has just peeked over the bridge here. I just took 2 images, one around a stop under so I wouldn't blow out the sun. This is it here, and the second one here, it is saying on my metering that it's correctly exposed, but the sun has blown out all the highlights just to the right of the tree here. Which do you like best? Leave it in the comment box below. Tell me which you like best, because I prefer the first one. This is unedited. Now take a look at the photo that I edited when I got back home in Adobe Lightroom using a radial filter to keep the center of the image dark but brighten all the outside of the image. Let's move the other way. The light has just gone from this side, so we're going to take a few photos in the other direction here. So this is where I'm set up now. This is the mango tree that I'm going to be photographing. Only a couple of meters from the rock wall here, and this is where my camera's set up. There's my ZV-1 just in front of us here, and look, can you see just above the ZV-1 we've got a sun star. We've got the sun shining through the mangrove tree here, and you can see how close my camera is to this tree, only about 4 meters away. Now let me show you why I love ultra wide angle lenses for this sort of photography. Finally got the ZV-1 set up. The background's blown out. Why? Because I'm in the shade here, so if the background was nice, I'd just be a dark figure here. I showed you how close I was here to this tree, and this is why I like an ultra wide angle lens. Now I'm just resetting up here. I've moved places, still got my neutral grad filter on here. I'm just trying to balance it out. Now here I'm faced with the same situation. I got a beautiful blue sky. The foreground is really nice. I've got that golden light. We're only 20 minutes after sunrise and the light is already becoming very harsh. This is a problem of shooting sunrises in summer. Most of the time, your best light is just before sunrise or right on sunrise. As soon as that sun rises, it just gets so harsh very quickly. Winter times is the best, or early spring or late autumn, we've got that soft light, but I'm still out here, I'm still enjoying myself. Let's take a few photos. ISO 100, still natural light auto, f11, 1/13 of a second. Let's take a look at it. Beautiful. Today's all about comparing a standard lens to an ultra wide angle lens. Now let's take a photo at 24. Look at the difference. This is 24. This is 17. If I had my Nikon 24 to 85 mil here, there is no way I could get this shot. Look how close I am. I am an arm's reach from this tree. I'd have to be in the tree to take a photo here. I know some people don't like ultra wide angle lenses, and ultra wides have this specific purpose. I still love using my 24 to 85 Nikon because it just gives me a natural perspective. But when I want images like this is why on a full frame I like using the Tokina 17 to 35. But if you're shooting a crop sensor, the Tokina 11 to 16 f2.8 or the Tokina 11 to 20 f2.8 are such good lenses, and they are so affordable. I'm just going to move slightly now, but I have to be very careful because the more I move to the right here, my shadow is going to be on that tree. So I've got to be careful not to do that. But I just want to move a little bit and get down low. I want a really distorted image of this tree. This is where ultra wides really come into it. So let's move quickly and set up for a different shot. Wow, look at that. You see the lights just changed? It's just gone blur. It's just bland. The sun's just gone behind a cloud there. And now we've just got flat light. I haven't changed my settings. I'll take a photo. Look at it. This was 3 minutes ago. This is now. look at the scene. I've got to quickly adjust my exposure. Even with the exposure corrected, it still looks bland. Sometimes you've got time to do things. Other times you've really got to move. Let's make it happen. Like this morning, slept in. I didn't have the time to set up my ZV-1. So I go like, that's okay. The important thing is take a photo. And I got the job done. When I had a chance to relax, I went out and grabbed my little camera so that I can talk to you. But it was important to show you what I was experiencing, and that's the main thing. Yes, it'd be great if you could see me a little bit more, but I'm sure sometimes you might get bored of my face. One last photo. I'm going to get down a little bit lower and see if I can add extra distortion to this image. And this is a big problem with using ultra wide angle lenses. If you don't have your horizon straight, because you have so much distortion, it's going to distort the corners. So when you straighten up your horizon, the image is going to be more distorted. Now here, it's not going to be too bad because it's just natural. But if I was shooting in a city with tall buildings and my horizon wasn't straight and I straightened up the image in post, you would see the buildings being very wonky because even though we straighten the horizon, the distortion can't be straightened out. Be mindful of that. Now, last image here. This looks really nice. Foreground's a bit dark, but I really like this composition. I'm just tilting up like that. Well, let's take a photo. Focus. Now, sometimes when you're out and about like that, think about your composition. Did you know that over 80% of landscape photos are taken from your shoulders? People just take photos straight on. If you want a different photo, even if you're using a normal lens, either get higher, like point down, or get low, and you will see a totally different perspective.